Down through the years, God's been, everybody ought to say now, God's been good to me.
My name is Willis Kiter. I'm the chairman of the Deacon Board here at Grace Temple. This coming next year, this ministry will be serving 90 years of ministry, and I can thank God that I've been in serving with it for the last 64 years. I've been in this ministry, and we, as we go on, we have been trying to talk about the history of this church and down through the years, where God has brought us from, and I just want to thank the pastor of this great ministry for allowing me to be a part of this, and even at my age, at 89, he still has confidence in me to make the right decisions, that I might go on carry this leadership of the Deacon and Trustee Board on. And I want to thank him for that. I want to thank all the Go Gap members for how they have helped us. We've been trying to get the history of this church for the last 2 years, and as we coming to a head, it's been a great opportunity, and I'm just been proud to have served in these 3 years ministries of the church. I was saved in 1952, and back at that time under the leadership of the late Bishop Ellington Forbes.
Brings a lot of
memories. This is the founder, like I said, Bishop Ellington Forbes, a man the bishop's talking about him something now a little bit. He found out that this lady from Nassau is writing the history of him. She called me a couple of times. Said Bishop was more. He built churches and turned them more planter. That's what I'm trying to say. He was more. He just found because he was in. Now see, as you spoke in that just a few minutes ago. He had just got the church. I remember him standing up in the pulpit saying, "I got it now, this is it." And just a few years or so, he was saying the Lord called him back to Florida. And we was all just
Florida.
Right, just
I've been to this church
but
yeah,
but he was that type of man. He could build church, but he never did hold it. I remember him standing up in the pulpit one Sunday and said, I'm a Nassau, I'll move in a minute. He always plant the seed in this.
How can thou lie asleep? It seems like each moment so madly is threatening. Oh, a grave in the every deep. Get up, Jesus, because obey your will.
Praise the Lord, everybody. That's a pleasure. Oh my God, this goes back to 1951. We arrived at this grounds, and myself and Sister Rena. Where's Mary? And Mary. We marched in with Bishop Forbes and Sister Jackson and all of the ones that was there back in the original days. And I was just a young 11, 12-year-old guy. I had a habit of playing my instrument for the service, and then after playing the instrument, I would retire to the basement to play paper basketball. And Bishop Forbes was preaching that Sunday, the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. And it caught my attention in the basement. So I ran upstairs and sit in the back. I was convicted at that time. And then at that point, I began to preach at age 12. And then when the church became up for a pastor, we had a meeting over on, I believe, Puritan and Dexter. And Bishop Forbes conducted that meeting and asked us who should we desire for a pastor. Several names came up. And of course, I rose that day and said we'd like to nominate Elder David Ellis from Chicago, Illinois. And that's how it all started. He came, he stayed in touch with me the whole time the process was going on. And of course, he came and did a fantastic job with our church. 40 years of success. And so we're here today backtracking where we started from. And every place we go marks a glorious event. I think the next move we're going to Leland Street. And from Leland we went to, no, from here, we're not covering all the ground because from here we went to the Boulevard. A lot of y'all don't know about that spot. Boulevard in the basement of a house. Can you imagine coming from a cathedral to the basement of a house and still praising God? We never stop praising God. So God brought us out the basement of a house to Leland Street, where we're about to go, and from Leland Street to Puritan and Dexter. That's where the boom came. 1962, the Honorable Bishop David Ellis was inaugurated as our pastor. And shortly after that, he chose me to be his assistant pastor. And I served as his assistant pastor for 7 years and the choir director for 25 years. So I'm still here to tell the story. Give God the glory.
Back in 1962, our church was at a great, well, we had to meet out of the church. Things had got kind of bad. And the late Bishop Ellington Forbes was talking to us and said God had called him back to Miami, Florida, and in that area. And we was all sad to see him go, but the church, so, but before he left, he said, I tell you what, I'm going to have you all to choose some leaders that you think that would be good for the pastor here. So at that time we chose late Elder Rivers from Monroe. He was one of them, and we had the late Elder Hoodie Hope. He was one of them. But we had another young man that we talked about was from Chicago named David Lee Ellis from Chicago. Now, a lot of our members here only about, it's only about 30 or 35 of us here at the most, and most of them that come up under, they didn't know nothing about David Ellis. But me being traveling with one of my deacons, Wilbur Jackson, to Chicago, we know this young man David, so we voted and voted him in. He got the most votes.
Down through the years, God's been, everybody ought to say now, God's been good to me. Hey, down, God's been mighty good. I just stood up to tell you that God really been good. Oh Lord, thank you. All of my life. Somebody ought to help me say, all of my life, children, God's been good to me. Hey, God's been mighty good. Oh Lord, thank you. I just rose to tell you God's really been good. Oh Lord. I sit down through the years. Hey. Everybody ought to say.
Bishop David Lee Ellis was at a meeting with Bishop James Johnson, and he got the message the message that he preached that night, and God told him to come here, and he came here. But I can never forget the time that he stood before us in one Sunday morning, about, as I said, about 35 or 40 of us or more, and then As I said, the light was just about threatening to be cut off. The gas meter, you know, at that time they'd pull the gas meter out, and so he was, and this young man stood up in the pulpit and said, "Don't worry, God gonna send us help that we know nothing about it." And we all stand around. So, but anyway, the church started from that time on. Every Sunday, it's about being a big church. I think that church over on Puritan and Dexter held about 600 or 700 or more. But anyway, we had to rope the church off, and as we filled it up, we would back those ropes every Sunday, and the Lord blessed us. That church started out, we started moving the ropes back more and more every time, and after a while, that church was filling up, and they were standing all around the wall. And but God really blessed us through this young man, Ella David Lee Ellis, and we are going on today.
Welcome, sir. How you doing? Great. Welcome again, man. Good to see you all. Bless you. Praise the Lord. Good to see you. Oh, yeah.
Here we are at Puritan and, come on, Puritan and Dexter. This holds a lot of remembrance. As we came in, Bishop used to park there, and we used to, all of our other cars, Papa Charlie and late brother Trustee Rogers. Trustee Rogers and all of our cars was there now. Now when we got this building, it was leaking. I never will forget. We went up there, me and Melvin and brother, all of us. We fixed that roof. We painted the whole side that was. We painted that. You remember Dennis used to live on the side there, and we used to. But all of this we used to be now. We have them windows raised up in the thing. I used to cook barbecue down there. Okay, cook barbecue down there. So no, because they didn't give us the okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what we can't go. The lady was coming. But anyway, Bishop, you come say something like, I don't know, but we got to get out of this race. So
Well, God bless you. We're at the site where it all began under the administration of the Honorable Bishop David Ellis. 1962, we voted him unanimously to be our pastor. And so we're here in the rain. I can't forget the song that Tessie Hill sang, and then the rain came. So we're here today, and this is the spot. There's so many glories are here. It's raining, but we just cannot just go because there's so much to remember here. God did some great things. But the church began to grow by leaps and bounds on these grounds. And so we thank God for all of these that are still alive, to hear and witness the story and the glory that God started here on Puritan and Dexter.
Now, you remember, this is why we started roping off, and each Sunday as the church grew, we would move so many ropes back until we ain't had no room, and we had standing around the corner, and in the summertime we had these windows up, and we had this whole block.
Right.
If you can remember, the little butcher in Maryland, he said he used to come through here and hear all that noise going on. He said, I'm gonna stop in there and see what them folks doing. And he stopped in here one time and got saved. That's right. Yes, sir. But this holds a whole lot of remembrance there. Okay. All right.
And this place blossomed into where they are now on West 7 Mile. The rain is coming. We got to go.